Angeline with B-Sides, hanging out today with Louie and Anatole from the band Parcels. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks so much for taking the time to do this right now. I know you guys are on tour. Besides the fans, what has been the best part that you guys have missed about being on tour that you're experiencing right now?
For me, it's a lot about the fans. It's funny to, go 2 years without playing in front of anyone. And I feel like when we tour, it's like, it's a little bit of a confirmation of why we're doing this and, seeing directly people feeling the music. And I think that's really been the biggest thing. It's just like, wow, people are singing along to the new record, and I don't know, it all comes together in the live show for me.
Did you guys come up with any like new hobbies, or were you guys just like doing some personal growth?
I dipped in and out of a lot of hobbies, but none of them really stuck, I think.
Yeah, I definitely tried some things in lockdown that I haven't gone back to.
The trumpet's lying dusty in the rehearsal room.
Yeah.
I can say that I did not bake any bread during the pandemic. So I hope maybe you guys maybe baked bread, but I never got into that phase of the pandemic where everyone was baking bread.
Yeah, that one skipped me somehow.
I actually baked a loaf with my friend. But he's a chef, and he's been baking bread for years, but he was like,
Before
yeah, you
it
want
was
to have a
cool.
go? I was like, sure. But yeah, painstaking process for, just a loaf of bread in the end that costs
It's
a
like
couple of
half as
dollars
good
in
as
the
your nearest
supermarket.
sourdough place.
Totally. Yeah, don't understand that one really.
Pivoting here a bit and going to the album. Congrats on the album you guys released last year, Day/Night. Some of the tracks definitely had like a different pace. Like I know I was listening to The Fear, and The Fear reminded me of Twin Peaks, the show, and especially like the end with it playing the verse in reverse, or verse three in
Yeah.
reverse. And I was like, okay, like I have to talk to them about this because I actually love Twin Peaks. So I wanted to ask you guys about that.
Oh, we love Twin Peaks as well.
Weirdly,
I don't
that wasn't
know.
like a reference for that part though. That
Yeah.
part came about because of a mixing accident where the engineer was just trying something, and
It
I think
worked.
Pat and Jules were with him and were just like, that sounds cool how it is, just leave it. He was like, you sure? But yeah, we're definitely Twin Peaks fans as well. It's actually also a thing though. I feel like it's there used to be a thing where people thought if you played Led Zeppelin records backwards, there was new messages you could find in them.
Was there any pressure with album number 2 after seeing album number 1 doing really well and resonating with a lot of people?
Yeah, there was pressure, but I think it translated to ambition and excitement on our part rather than it being too debilitating. What do you reckon, Toto?
Yeah, I never really thought about album 1 doing that well. Like, to me, that wasn't really, um, I don't know. I always felt like I didn't have that in mind. There's always pressure for album number 2, but it wasn't coming from like, oh, album number 1 got received so well. But now when I look at it, I'm like, wow, like our first record actually, I guess I was just a bit oblivious, but our first record actually, it's got a lot of great streams, and then I'm like, wow, it's like, yeah, it's definitely a push to get your second record up next to your first and beyond.
Yeah, and I've come across people since then that really do love that first album. That I also wasn't so tuned in to. I also think it happens over time. Like that album, the first album's been out for quite a few years now, and it's given people a chance to really love it and claim it as an album that they love. And I think it takes years for any album.
Yeah. And
I ran into I ran into a guy in the Starbucks today, and he was like coming to the show tonight. He's like, "Are you gonna play I Know How I Feel?" And
yeah.
I was like, whoa, I haven't thought about that song in so long.
Since you guys are like a quintet, there's like five guys in a band together. Like, walk me through the process of creating a song together. Like, what is the collective process for each of you guys?
As of now, it's really started with just one person on their own. Mainly the other three, me and Louis, are kind of, our expertise lie elsewhere. But yeah, just most of the songs came from just like one person writing in their bedroom. And then what happens when it comes to the band is different every time. But basically with this record, we were really like set on playing it all live in the studio. So we wanted to know how to play the songs first. So we arranged them, a lot of them in Australia and then a lot of them in Berlin. And we kind of found some weaknesses, well, not weaknesses, but we had difficulties with some of the demos. You know, they were beautiful songs, like absolutely beautifully written. But when they come to the band and we tried to play them, something wasn't fitting right. And so those were eventually the ones that we kind of put on the side. So these songs on Day and Night are the ones that really felt good as a band. And that was really important to us before going into the studio, to know like this feels good when we play it, and once we've arranged it, and then it'll feel good on stage, you know?
And I think you can kind of like, you definitely sense that on the album. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of different genres that you guys kind of have on it, like folk, funk, and metal that are kind of in it too. Like, how do you guys embody these other genres in your sound or on this new album?
I think we kind of stumble across them, and that's the beauty of learning it live together, where we're jamming and everyone's adding their own ideas and feelings to a track. And I think suddenly we'll realize that it's sounding a bit like a rock song or like a folk song. And as soon as everyone's on that same level, we double down on it, sort of thing.
And as a band performing live, you have the freedom to like expand on a segment. Some artists will like maybe do like an acoustic version of a song or something, versus, you know, doing the recorded version live. When putting together your live shows, how far do you guys stray from, you know, the recorded versions? You guys stick to it.
No. We stray pretty far, and I think the longer a song has been in our repertoire, the further we can stray from it. Like, yeah. I think we've tried to stay kind of true to the Day and Night recordings, although, you know, some of them have changed already, and we've only played 7 shows on this tour. But that's really where the fun lies for us, and I feel like we have a really great audience of like music listeners that really notice when stuff is different and new.
Yeah, I remember when I saw you guys, I was listening, because the other thing too, again, your songs sort of end up like melting together, so you don't know where like one song starts or another begins, which is nice. I like that. But at the same time, I'm just like, I noticed that you guys like performed some of the songs like a bit differently, but I liked it, you know.
Yeah, there's some reservations in your voice.
No reservations, I swear.
Particularly with the old songs, like from our first EP or even some from the album, it feels like we're a different band to what we were when we recorded them. And even if we wanted to play them exactly how the studio versions sound, like we wouldn't be able to get there. We use different instruments and we play differently. Yeah.
I hope that never changes. I hope, and I'm sure it will never change.
Got to keep changing.
But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Again, congrats on the release of your album, Day/Night. And enjoy the rest of your tour, guys.
Thanks so much.
For having us.